Hello everybody, welcome to Clay Talk. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for everybody to join us. Hopefully we'll get a few people drawn away from that suspenseful election that's going on right now in the US. Today I have this cute little ornament to share with you. It won't take us too long to make this. It's quite nice and you can hang it on your tree. It's made with a creative paper clay. So I'll get started on that in just a minute. To make this particular ornament, it's really simple. You're going to need your clay, of course, some kind of rolling pin or a bottle to roll out your clay. I also just drew a little template of a moon, and then I added the little nose. That's great to put on your clay to cut it out. You'll need some kind of craft knife to trim out the shape out of your clay, and you'll need a sculpting tool to attach this little bit to the hat. A diluted white glue is also great to use when attaching pieces when you're not really pressing down too much at the edges, and then something to make the texture in the rim of the hat, and a hard toothbrush is great for that, or a toothpick. You can just little dot and little holes, and also a wire brush. So that's basically what we're gonna need. But before we get started, I would like to ask you all to share the link to this video. You're our best source of advertising. I know I say that every time, but it's the truth. Without you, we would have no customers. So share it to your group, share it to your pages, anybody that might be interested. It would be greatly appreciated. We'll be having a giveaway today. We're gonna be giving away an 8-ounce package of creative paper clay. You just need to say "I want to win" during the live video. Put it down in the comment section, and that will give you a chance to win the package of creative paper clay. For those of you who don't know, our clay can be bought in your craft store, like a lot of local craft stores carry it, as well as like the bigger ones like Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Dick Blick carries it also, and it's also available online. So some of the places online is first of all our website, creativepaperclay.com, and Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Dick Blick, and also Amazon. So we have a few more people with us now. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already shared the link, you can go ahead and share it again, and I'm just gonna get started now. It's a quick and easy project. I do have a little bit of clay in my box here, so I'll use that up as well as open that packet. It's a great idea to store your clay when you're not using it in a creative, in a Tupperware container. This is an airtight one with a seal. So it really helps to keep out the air. Ziploc bags are also good. Press and seal is a great thing to wrap it in also. So I'm going to get started. Let's just get out some clay here. You probably won't use this much, but I rather have more than I need. Rather, you roll it out and then you realize that it's not big enough. So I'm just going ahead and just getting that ready. It's very soft right outside the packet, as you can see. I think this bit should be enough. I'm going to put this back in here. When you're working with paper clay, you need to put up what you're not using because it is an air dry clay, and in some climates it will dry out very, very fast, or if you have like an air conditioning unit blowing on it or something like that. So the first step is to just roll it out. I'm going to do mine about 1/4 inch thick, maybe just a little bit bigger. Those little spots, you can just go ahead and rub your finger over them to smooth them out. Once you have that, you have your little moon that you've drawn, your little template, and just place it on the clay and go around it with your craft knife. I'm just going to cut off some of this excess hair just to make it easier for me. And the beauty of this is if you make a mistake cutting out, it doesn't matter. You just put the clay in a ball again, knead it for a few seconds, roll it out again, and you will be ready to go. If you have any questions while I'm working, go ahead and put them in the chat. Terry is on there answering questions for me, and Glorianne is there now as well as other design team members. So that's pretty much it. I have the shape of my moon. Once you are happy with that shape, just use your finger, dip it in some water, go ahead and smooth those edges. If it didn't cut quite properly in an area, just get your craft knife and just fix it. And that's pretty much it to that part. The next part I'm going to do is make the little rim for the hat. So I'm just going to grab a bit of this clay that I have here. And just roll it out. And then decide where you're going to put it. A good way to do that is you kind of know where the nose is right here, so that means the eye would be here. So probably around right here would be a good spot to do that. Now, being our clay is wet, what I'm gonna do is just add a little bit of water right here just to make sure that we get that stuck down properly, and use my tool here to just go under the edges and pull that down. I'm going to do it on both sides. And I'm going to trim off any excess. And once again, dip my finger in some water and just smooth. Once you've done that, you can use either a toothpick. If you don't have an old toothbrush, that works fine. You can just go in and make your little holes, or you can use your toothbrush like that. There are also wire brushes used for cleaning I think metal parts. I think it's for like car parts and stuff, but I use it for clay. And that's also a great tool for adding texture. So right now I'm just smoothing up those edges as best as I can. You can also sand them when it's dry, but the more work that you put in now is the less work you'll have later, and it's easier when the clay is wet as opposed to when it's dry. Yes, Sherry, this is definitely a good item for craft night. You can do this one with your kids or grandkids. It's fine all around. So the last step on this one, once you've made sure all your edges are smooth, is that I'm going to just put a little hole with a toothpick right in the end of the hat. This is where I'm going to run my little wire through and add my little bell. You can also use ribbon. If you're going to use ribbon, make the hole a little bit wider. That would be my only recommendation. And then you can put it aside to dry. When you pick it up, just make sure you look at the under edges as well, like right there, and make sure those are also smooth before you set it aside to dry. Let me show you one that I already have that's dry, and we'll move on to decorating it. Let me just put up this clay because I don't want it to dry out. And let me grab one I did already. So this one is dry, and I've also added a coat of gesso to it. Gesso basically just helps to prevent the paint from being absorbed by the paper clay, because it is a paper base, so it will absorb the paint quite readily. So it's a good idea to give it a coat of gesso so you don't use up, you don't have to do like 3 coats of paint, for instance. So to begin with, I have a red paint here. I like to use paints from Plaid Crafts. They really do coat nicely. They work really well with paper clay. So I'm using Flag Red out of their Apple Barrel, and this one is a Delta paint, and this one is called Santa's Flesh. Of course, any paint you have will do. So I'm just giving this a shake, and I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna paint up here with the red and down here with the Santa's Flesh, and then any white paint will do after that, just to paint right here. So I'm gonna grab a pencil and use that pencil just to mark out the area where the face will be. I was using my pencil with glue gun the other day, so it has glue all over it. So I'm just gonna mark that out a bit right there, just so I know where the white paint will be and the Santa's Flesh. To give me a rough idea. So to begin with, I'm just gonna start with the red. I prefer to work from the top down, or my hand will go in it and I'll make a big mess. So let me grab my paintbrush here, and let's quickly get this painted. So it's straightforward. Just go ahead and paint. A lot of the times, if I don't have white paint handy, I just substitute with gesso as well, like the white gesso. It works just as well in for these crafts. See how vibrant that paint is just after one coat? So I'm going to let that bit dry and I'll do down here. Then I'll go back and do that top part. I'm just grabbing my white here. I'm just going to put some there. Get another paintbrush. And I'm going to do my other two colors now. So this is the Santa's flesh. Of course, you can use whatever color you choose. Remember to paint on the inside bit right here. And then we can move on to the white area. It's a very quick and easy craft. A great thing to do for like a craft party. I used to have craft parties when my kids were small. But now they're all teenagers, so that's no longer cool. I'm only going to do one coat of the white, even though it's a bit translucent, because I'm actually going to be adding glitter to it. So it's just really a base for the glitter to go on. Just in case a tiny little bit shows through, at least it will match the glitter. I'm going to dry it a bit just before I do that part, because I don't want the red to mix in with the white and we end up with a pink rim. We have a winner, Cheryl Ferenc. You are the, if I pronounced that properly, you are the winner. Please send a private message with your shipping info so that we can get that paper clay to you. So now I'm just painting in this little bit here, the little trim on his hat. You can add glitter to this, or another thing that's cute is flocking, which is like bits of, almost seems like bits of felt. I'm not sure what it is really. Some type of fiber. Alright, so that's good. I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to give the red a little bit more on the top. And I'm going to give it another dry with the heat gun. Then we can add some Mod Podge and or glue, whichever one you have, and add the glitter. That should be good enough. Let me give it another quick drying. And we also have to add his eye. I just used a permanent marker for that. You can use an acrylic marker, Sharpie, whatever you have. But before it's a good idea just to mark where you're going to put the eye with a pencil, so you can, you know, change your mind if you want to. That's entirely up to you, of course. And then you just go in and add the eye like that. You can add a mouth if you want, or you can just go over that entire area like a beard. So I've got my Mod Podge here. I like Mod Podge for glitter because it's thick. So grab a brush, don't use your good brushes, and add the Mod Podge to the area where you want the glitter. Don't forget those side bits. And then we're going to coat it with the glitter. Let me just grab a piece of paper here. Let me just get rid of that. And this is just regular white glitter, just craft glitter, nothing fancy. And I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that on. And knock off any excess. While that is drying, the next step is to add your little bell. So this is just very thin craft wire that I'm using. And I have a little craft bell as well. And wire cutters, and then this we can attach to the back to hang it. So I'm just going to plug in my glue gun right now also. That can start warming up. So to hang it, you really don't need a lot of wire, just enough to get it through and then to twist it at the end. So all you have to do here is thread that through the hole that you had made, and then add your little bell. Decide where you want it. I put mine closer to the edge, that's fine, wherever you want it. And you can just twist it to keep it in place. You can go a step further and wrap the wire around the end. That would also be cute if you wrap the wire around the end if you had a longer bit. And just snip off any excess right there. And the last step, this is just a piece of ribbon. Anything you want you can use to hang it. Just make sure you look at it first, because you don't want it hanging like this or like that. So just kind of, you know, visualize where you're gonna have it hanging from. Probably right there, I would say, is good, so he's upright. And you can add that hair. Now if you want to varnish this, you can go ahead, do it before you add the bell and this hanger. One thing I love to varnish my whimsical sculptures with is Mod Podge Sparkle. I just really like it. Let me cut off any excess. Apart from that, a spray varnish will work well. Let me show you the Mod Podge. This is the Mod Podge Sparkle. That's what I finished this little guy with. So if you want, you can just go ahead and coat the hat. You can do it even after you added on everything, because it really is easy to use. If you're going to use a spray varnish, I would say put it on before you add the bell and the hanger. But this just gives it a nice little finish. It gives it that extra sparkle. And I like, for these cute whimsical ornaments, I like them to sparkle. And that's about it. Your little guy's done. He's ready to hang. And you can make a whole bunch of these. You can even do them in different colors. Do them with the kids. Excuse me, and the grandkids. And decorate your tree. So that's it for today. Do we have any more questions? If there are no more questions, I would like to thank everybody for joining me today. It was a quick and easy one. Next month we can explore more Christmas ornaments. Someone was asking me about cookie cutter ornaments, so I'm trying to come up with something where we use cookie cutter shapes, but then we do a little something extra with texture or finishing rather than just the simple shape. So I like making my ornaments. Every year I make something, so I think that would be a good one, and one that you can probably also do, you know, as a little craft party with family and friends. So thank you so much for joining me, and be sure to mark your calendars. Let me just have a look what date will be on. So it's the first Thursday in the month, so it will be on Thursday the 3rd of December at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll do more Christmas ornaments then. And a gingerbread man, yeah, a gingerbread man is actually quite cute. Definitely I can add a gingerbread man for you, Cherie. Alright, great. So thank you once again for joining me, and I will see you next month.